Man, my application as rules writer is not going to go well if they watch this video. I think we can all agree on that one. This FOMO and this lack of communication genuinely just makes them better sales. And as a PR department, if they just never admit that anything is wrong, that's better, because as a public we forget about it in 2 weeks. Guarantee nobody's going to mention Cursed City in 2 weeks. If GW could just keep their heads down, never ever mention it, no big deal. On the day Cursed City went up for pre-order, I was editing a video for my channel. And I was so into it. No, I can't remember which video it was. And so at midday I went on to my local gaming store of choice where I buy all of my products online to buy Cursed City, and it wasn't there. I thought, oh, okay, it's a hot product. Games Workshop hyped it up, put lots and lots of money and time into PR specifically for Cursed City, so it's sold out. That makes sense. Let's try Games Workshop itself. I go on to Games Workshop. It's not there. I could buy the novel for it, that was still online, but everything else was sold out. Now, that's frustrating, right? We've all been in that situation. Something new comes out, we really want it from Games Workshop, we can't get it. Okay, no problem, because I've been quite closely following the previous Warhammer Quest boxes. Of course, I picked up Blackstone Fortress for myself, because a lot of the models there could be used in Kill Team. I picked up some of the expansions. It's fine, no big deal. I was excited for Cursed City because I'm excited to play regular vampires in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. That excites me. I knew that the Crimson Court box for Warhammer Underworlds was coming out. I'd pick them up, I'd pick up Cursed City. I'd have myself a nice little vampire army for Age of Sigmar if I ever want to get around to doing that. I don't know where this video is going yet, but of course I do want to say that if you're a subscriber, I'd like to give you a big double hello. What a lovely noise. And of course, if you want a double pleasantry in the next video, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and that can be yours. I'm signed up to about 6 or 7 different weekly update newsletters from different local game stores, you know, where I can buy stuff online if I need to. And one of them drops me an email saying, hey, we ran out of all of our Wave 1 allocation of Cursed City, but we expect Wave 2 to be coming next weekend or the weekend after, I can't remember, so pre-order now. I think, okay, cool, I know I want Cursed City, let's go pre-order. Today, that local game store took the money out of my account and haven't contacted me in any way. But of course, we already know that Cursed City isn't going to be coming out, but isn't that a little bit odd? In fact, didn't Games Workshop specifically say in multiple Facebook and Twitter comments to people that Cursed City, much like Blackstone Fortress, is going to be evergreen? It's going to be something that will be restocked. Well, yes, they did. Okay, well, hey, no big deal. I'm a patient man, I can wait. Not a big deal. Okay, a little bit frustrating. Hasn't turned up yet. I don't really care how long I wait. I just wanted them for whenever I would be back open, COVID would be gone, I could play with people in person. So, I'm in no rush. Unfortunately, that was when rumblings began, and we started seeing local retailers putting up their own social media posts saying that they, as the retailers, have been told they are not going to be given any more Cursed City. In fact, Cursed City will never be, they were told by their own representatives for Games Workshop, these retailers were told, Cursed City will not be available online ever again. It is finished. We expect that the miniatures inside it will be available in other formats at a later date. But Cursed City is gone. Now, I'm going to be entirely honest, I don't really care that much. I mean, I'm going to get my money back from the game store that I pre-ordered from, but apart from that, okay, fair enough. You know, we've been hearing rumours for a while that Cursed City was actually meant to release in November last year. There's been big issues, Brexit's happened, COVID's happened, we've had multiple instances over the past few months where GW has missed deadlines. The Drukhari Codex, Indomitus was a big issue. I think it's pretty clear that Games Workshop is really struggling to continue to produce what they need to produce to fulfill orders. I can only assume that a combination of these issues, alongside them having way more people wanting to buy their stuff, because if you've forgotten, Games Workshop is currently the biggest it has ever been. It is making more money now than ever before. That is just a fact. COVID did crazy good things for Games Workshop stock price and actual just income. Coincidentally, as it did for the entire miniature hobby sector, not just GW, but GW primarily, of course, because they are the biggest. And so with the worldwide issues of supply in general, plus more people wanting to purchase their things than ever before, it kind of makes sense, right? And I don't know, maybe you feel that I vilify GW, but I actually don't. Fair enough. You're having supply issues. These things happen. I would even go so far as to say, you said that Cursed City was going to be evergreen, and now it's not. Okay, I don't really mind that. Things happen. Things change. I'm a very forgiving person. As are, I believe, most of Games Workshop's fans and just players in general. Unless for some reason you actually hate GW in some weird hate boner situation. Maybe you listen to the Inner Circle a bit too much, I don't know. But let's think about the actual issue here. It's Games Workshop's PR, isn't it? Do you know how forgiving people would be if Games Workshop just released a statement saying exactly the issue? Saying, unfortunately, due to COVID and Brexit and supply issues that affect the entire world at the moment, and due to lockdown issues, we are having to restrict exactly what we can manufacture, and we do, of course, manufacture almost exclusively in the UK. This thing that we thought was going to be produced in enough quantity and to be produced forever as an evergreen product, we no longer can do that. Sorry. That's it. Nobody would have any issues. Like, genuinely, nobody would have any issues. Okay, you know Privateer Press. I don't talk about them too much. A month ago, maybe 2 months ago now, they increased the price of their items almost across the board. It wasn't a huge amount. It was the first time they had increased their prices in about 15 years. Okay? None of their fans, even their haters, cared. They got zero pushback. They got zero negative comments about it. They just did it. And everybody kind of looked at it and said, oh, okay, yeah, you didn't actually increase it that much. This is your first price increase in 15 years. Yeah, fair enough. People are super forgiving. If you are not predatory, if you are not always squeezing out every last drop of their money, if you're not funneling them down these bizarre mind game FOMO routes, then people are gonna be forgiving. But when you're a gigantic corporate entity that removes any notion of it being run by an individual or being run by individuals, and you are just this huge behemoth that drains money and refuses, like very specifically refuses, to give you any indication of what is true and what's going to be released, and just and you do literally the worst job of communicating. Games Workshop has painted itself into this PR corner where all it needs to do is say, hey guys, we are struggling a bit, sorry, please give us a moment. But they cannot do that, or they feel they cannot do that, because their only form of communication is their official PR. Everything's happy, everything's good, there are no game balance issues. Like, have you seen any of their MetaWatch articles? They don't even mention that there might be balance issues in the game. They just completely gloss over it. They say, oh, people feel this way, but actually it's this way. Oh, this could be an issue, but it's not, because we've released literally the perfect game. They are, for some reason, wanting to keep themselves in this bizarre spot that is completely... What I'm saying is, I'm frustrated. They have an IP that people love, and they are doing their absolute best to drain our wallets, which is fine. They're a company, that's what they should be doing, fine. But when you take into account yearly price increases that are always above inflation, psychological manipulation through FOMO of selling their products, and some of the worst communication from corporation to customers that I have frankly ever seen in an industry that is built around small individuals being open and honest with something they have created. They are creatives, but they are trying to run their business as corporate entity number 5,678 faceless number. And frankly, they have a terrible rules system. If you play miniature games and you have an issue with a rule in something, if you're talking about anyone apart from Games Workshop, there will be an email to the rules developer guy, and you can ask him, say, hey, what did you mean when you wrote this? And he will get back to you. Like almost across the board, even in Atomic Mass Games, which now handles Fantasy Flight's miniature games, you will get a direct answer from the guy that wrote that rule, and he will say, oh, this is what I meant, please play it this way. Games Workshop doesn't even credit their rules writers. Now we know why, that's a bit of a different issue, but you can easily see how they have deliberately made themselves a corporation instead of creative individuals, and that was a conscious decision, and they're doing such a bad job of keeping people informed. There you go, just a bit of a rant, guys, if I'm honest, and to be, like, lovely weather. I just wanted to sit outside, set up the cam and talk about Games Workshop in some way. I knew I wanted to talk about something today, the weather's good, and this was the thing that happened to be on everybody's mind, so I thought I'd mention it, especially as somebody that had wanted to get Cursed City and is not particularly annoyed that I can't, right? It's not like I'm enraged because I couldn't get the product I wanted. I'm okay with that. I'm just frustrated by the way I'm treated by the company. That's all really. Man, my application as rules writer is not going to go well if they watch this video. I think we can all agree on that one. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much. This has just been a casual chat, obviously, but anytime somebody watches to the end of my videos genuinely helps, so thank you for that. And of course, if you made it this far, that is a triple hello. But what are your thoughts? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm looking at this through a completely idyllic lens? Because this is something I've considered myself before. Perhaps this idea that, oh, Games Workshop just needs to communicate better. Maybe that's not true. Maybe, actually, this FOMO and this lack of communication genuinely just makes them better sales. And as a PR department, if they just never admit that anything is wrong, that's better, because as a public, we forget about it in 2 weeks. Guarantee nobody's going to mention Cursed City in 2 weeks. If GW could just keep their heads down, never ever mention it, no big deal. Do they actually need to own up to their mistake to continue making sales? Probably not. But if they post something to the Warhammer community, their official PR site, saying, hey guys, we messed up, is that actually going to bring more attention to it than if they just had left it and never mentioned it? I'm annoyed I couldn't get Cursed City, but I'm still going to buy everything I was going to buy anyway. Games Workshop doesn't need to apologise to me to make me continue to buy their products. Is it the same for you guys? Is this actually going to turn anybody off from ever buying from GW again? I don't think so. So why should they apologise? Damn, I'm a fool. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. I hope you've had a good day and continue to have a good day. Goodbye. Oh, gosh.